where his budget would go.
Mark Halperin, the real problem that Paul Ryan is facing right now, other than some inconsistencies, he's gotten about as specific as you can get on a budget because he's a budget director.
Which is what
you can get much more specific.
He's now teamed up with a presidential candidate
who's not specific,
who has really no specific plans on Medicare, on Social Security, and balancing the budget, and he's going to be tap dancing for a while. Are they going to come up with a stated plan?
I don't think they'll be any more specific, although he's more specific than John McCain was, for instance. As Lauren said, one of the big gaps for both Ryan and Romney is on what deductions and loopholes to get rid of. They both say, they'll say after the election, Ryan in the Brit Hume interview said, well, we want to do it in the light of day, working with Congress. Romney has said he doesn't want to specify because he'll get picked apart. And Chris Christie taught him you should wait till after the election. I think that is something they both should be pressed on. Also on Social Security, Ryan took Social Security out of his budget. Romney talks about it very little. They both are on record as supporting a proposal like President Bush supported, which was roundly rejected by the Congress and the American people. And I think that's something they both should be talking about as well and pressed on as well.
Okay.
But I don't think they'll offer it up.
The deductions thing is a big deal because Ryan has a tax-cutting plan that is quite dramatic. It's as close to a flat tax as you get, two tax rates, 10 and 25. And then he says we won't lose any revenue at all because we will adjust what he calls tax shelters. And the Romney people, by the way, are going to shut him up about using that phrase, tax shelters, any minute now. Anyway, he's going to eliminate deductions in a way that it'll be revenue neutral.
We now know three things.
We now know that if you eliminate, it's very simple. If you eliminate single deduction in the tax code, it is still not revenue neutral, and you know you're never going to eliminate the home mortgage deduction, which is one of the biggest ones. You're never going to eliminate the health care deduction. It's impossible. Never going to happen. Politically.
And charity. Those are the three big piles of money.
But if you eliminate them all, it still doesn't work.
I understand your point, but when they talk generally about deductions that are going to bring this into balance, would you say it won't even do? You've got Mark Halperin, you've brought this up before. You've got three places to go and three places.
And it's a joke to say his budget's specific if they won't say which of those will be.
It's either home mortgage, it's either medical, or it's either charity.
And Ryan wants to call them corporate welfare and loopholes. They're not. They're deductions that are built into the code that have a huge support from the American people. And to say, here's my plan, it's revenue neutral, and here's all the great tax cuts involved, and we'll specify the hard parts later. I think it's a joke. And Britt did press him on that a little.
I don't understand why Paul Ryan's budget can't be a really good touchstone for a conversation, and why it's been made this dirty thing that they've put aside, because again, from what I see, is the campaign again, hurting the candidate. Mitt Romney, it seems like his campaign can't do right by him. You saw Paul Ryan, before he was the vice presidential pick, come on the show. Great. You see him in his first two interviews on 60 Minutes, he is like completely hanging on the phrase, get the country back on track. He says it like 12 times. You can tell the campaign has gotten to him.
Guess what?
You watch him on Britt's show, and he can't even answer a question.
Well, when you're
the campaign's gotten
Ariana, when you're the budget chairman, you're the budget chairman.
Let Paul
and you can say whatever you want to say because you're the budget chairman. When you are the vice presidential candidate, it is a harder slog because you've got to make sure that every word you say is lined up with.
But you also see immediately sort of the diminishing effect that being nominated to any of these two potentially highest jobs in the land has on you.
Yeah.
It's so diminishing. Suddenly you sound less smart, less knowledgeable, more confused, and incredibly awkward.
HBO ought to do a series on it.
That's it. Okay. Lawrence, stay with us, I guess. And Ariana. Up next, Paul Ryan.